All right, so Jonathan, you're up first.
First overall pick.
Your first overall pick for the non-quarterback on LSU's roster.
I'm a little torn.
Lloyd Cushenberry.
I'm a little torn. I'm going to go with the Cush. I'm going to pick Whit Weeks.
Okay.
Ooh.
I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to go with the most
Whit
consistent
Weeks.
guy on defense.
I would say so.
Kind of the heart and soul of that entire unit. What else can you say about Whit Weeks?
There you go. So Whit Weeks, first player off the board for impact, non-quarterback impact players for LSU in 2025. Lloyd, you have your selection coming up here. Pick number 2.
Give me 1 second.
Who will be the next player taken in the non-quarterback impact players?
I'm Googling the team because
Whit is a good pick.
I don't know any
I
players.
think it's one of two.
Well, I mean, I think Whit is if you're going to look at the leader on each side,
Yeah.
you have Nussmeier on offense. I think he'll be 18. I think Whit will be 18. So he fills that role of the leader of the defense, and also
And I mean, how many tackles last year?
he's about 120.
120?
And so he's as consistent as it gets.
That's impact.
So I think that's definitely a very, very good pick.
With my selection, number 2 pick overall in the LSU 2025 draft outside of Garrett Nussmeier, Team Courtney selects Harold Perkins.
Yeah. Harold Perkins, there you go. That's about what I expected.
Yeah, it was one or the other.
Harold Perkins, the second pick here in the draft. Lloyd, the reasoning behind your selection?
It's hard to go against the coach, as Blake Baker has come out and said with authority that Harold Perkins, the best thing about him is that he has looked healthy coming off the surgery. If you didn't know he had it, you wouldn't be able to tell. He himself wants to play the star position, as that was much maligned going into the year. Where do you put him? How do you play him? And it was a lot of conjecture about, I want to play in the middle. It's good for my NFL future. He says, no, I want to play star.
Yep.
And then my own eyeballs. Seeing him move around at practice, I was like, this is all I need to see.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
He looks, it's Harold Perkins. And when Coach goes, he's got an extra year that nobody else has. And he still has it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Lambeau looks fine when he came out the garage.
On the Harold Perkins point, I think if you look up,
And he can play running back.
and we're talking about this in October or November, and we're talking about Harold Perkins being the best player on your defense at that point, like in the discussion for name the defensive awards, that means LSU's probably really good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I think as much as I love the Whit pick, and I think he's the safest pick.
Mm-hmm.
The ceiling of
The
Harold
ceiling's
Perkins
higher.
is,
And it's the second.
if Perk is reaching this ceiling, that means LSU is reaching this ceiling.
Yeah.
Whit could be reaching this ceiling and LSU still be, because he's as consistent as it gets. He's going to perform regardless. They went 8-4, and he was the best player on your defense. If he does that again, Harold Perkins is the one that puts you over the edge.
He is
So I
Reggie
agree.
Bush falling
I
to
agree with
2.
that assessment.
I think it's a good assessment.
Yeah.
So, Christian, you are pick number 3.
Okay, so we've had 2 flashy picks, 2 linebackers, 1 star, 1
Oh,
linebacker.
I know what you're going to go with.
Haha. So I'll
That's all
take Braylon Moore, the starting center.
That's a good pick. And your reasoning.
My reasoning behind it is the biggest question on this team is the offensive line. As we know, I think we saw in practice a lot of interior pressure. I think if teams are able to generate that interior pressure against LSU's in for a rude awakening this season. So I think having a solid center like Braylon Moore and not a DJ Chester like you saw last year, I think can really solidify LSU. And I think giving Nuss less responsibilities is very important for him to play well and play with less pressure on him. I think if Braylon Moore's able to call out whatever he needs to call out, I'm not a center, I'm not an offensive lineman, I really don't know what they call out. But whatever the call outs are, I'd much rather the center making those call outs than the quarterback.
Identifying the mic, getting the pass pro setup, all of those things. That's one thing I saw that I really liked at practice the other day was Braylon Moore taking that weight off of Nussmeier's shoulders, and I think that's like Christian said, that's the reason you went and got him. Is you need somebody on that line to lead that's not the guy also trying to make the plays at quarterback. So,
Well,
Good pick, buddy.
Yeah, good
Well
pick.
reasoned.
Lloyd, what were you about to say?
Oh, I saw a video. It was Cam Newton talking about it was him doing like football 101, and there's this video of Tua Tagovailoa, which I'm sure people have seen, of like the responsibilities of a quarterback, and he goes through all the things you have to do in the huddle because his McDaniel, his coach, doesn't allow the offensive line to make calls. He wants the quarterback to do it. So he calls the play in the huddle, which is 13 sentences long, breaks the huddle, he goes, and this is what I have to do. First, you have to find the safeties, and you have to look at the play clock. Then you have to see where the mic is, identify the mic, adjust where you think you have to slide the offensive line. That's part of identifying the mic. Then he has to look at his wide receivers and say, look, we're going kill. We're going to bleed up play 2. And you have to make sure that they know what they're doing. You look at the clock, can I change it again? 10 seconds, 5 seconds, got to go, cut. And it's like, fuck, you have a lot to do. If you take one of those things away from Nuss, you avoid the things that we saw last year, which were play clock running down, quick timeouts, where you're like, we're not lined up. And you're running out of time, and that was the play clock was your enemy as opposed to your friend. This can make the play clock your friend.
Yes, where you're splitting those responsibilities up. You have literally – you want your center to be kind of a secondary quarterback of calling those things out, taking it off your quarterback's shoulders. And so I've been very pleased with what Braylon Moore's looked like so far at fall camp, and it's a good pick, Christian.
Thank you.
Sold off my board. So I'm going to go with my first pick here, pick number 4 of the first round. I'm going Caden Durham.
Yep. Great pick.
Running back for LSU. Obviously, we talked about it ad nauseum yesterday, how important the run game is for LSU as a team, especially as an offense. And I think that right now, when you're talking about importance and impact, Caden Durham might be the second most important player on your team, definitely the second most important player on your offense. Like, now you don't have depth at the running back position, really. You've got three guys on scholarship. Outside of that, you have Juwan Johnson moving back, and then you've got some of the walk-on guys. So you don't really have the same depth you thought you had. There's Caleb Jackson, who you still want to see kind of prove it and pop off, and then you've got a true freshman in Harlan Berry. So that's a lot of weight on Caden Durham's shoulders in the running back room. And when it comes to this offense, what you want to see is an effective run game to help out Nussmeier and to help out the defense. And that's all going to reside with number 29 at the running back spot. So my non-quarterback impact player for LSU in 2025, my first pick, is running back Caden Durham. And then next up, as it snakes back around.
I don't think it should snake.
It
really is unbelievable.
The first overall pick of the second round.
Sure. Game the game.
There's a lot of. I mean, you want to go back to Jonathan first pick?
No,
we can. That's fine with me.
Just pick.
Okay. There's a lot of options left here. I think that the obvious 4 have been taken. The other ones are pretty.
I think this is where it gets fun.
Wide open. This is where it's going to get interesting. There's multiple ways that I could go. I want to go defense because I took a running back already. And there's some defense is already off the board. But I think I'm going to go offense. And I think I'm going to go with Trades Green.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to avoid this entire fucking scenario.
That's what I was picking too. I mean, best player in America.
I think Trades, if you watched the bowl game against Baylor, Trades was very much heavily featured in the offense. And look, I think Trades is somebody that they're going to have to keep on the field consistently. And the way it works is if he can actually pick up and make an impact as a blocker somehow, adding in that physicality, he could very well end up being one of the best players on your offense. And I think his role in this team will be Nussmeier's kind of safety outlet. But also, if you saw the practice on Monday that we got to go see, he was the best player on the field. And there's only a few people on this team that have that ceiling of they can be the best player on the field whenever they want. And that's why I've got Trades Green, tight end. He is the ultimate weapon for LSU in 2025. So
they're just like a handful of guys on the team that are like, what the fuck?
Right. Yeah.
When you see him out there moving. And he's one of the 4.
I would agree.
And so yeah, if you get a chance to take a what the fuck guy.
Yeah, no, I mean,
take a what the fuck guy.
What's Feldman's list? The freaks?
Yeah.
Like, you have a couple of those, and Trades Green is one. I mean, 6'7", basically a wide receiver, but is playing tight end. He's put on 20 pounds. Shout out to the fried chicken and red beans. And if he can add an impact as a blocker and keep himself on the field more and allow other weapons to be on the field rather than just kind of go 2 tight end set with him, but also the way you can use him. You split him out wide. You play him as a wide receiver. You put him at the end of the line, this, that, and the other. He doubled his receptions and touchdowns in the bowl game against Baylor, and I think it's going to look pretty similar in the season this year. So, Christian, I believe you're up next with the second overall pick of the second round. Who are you going to take?
I mean, you kind of stole my second. Did I steal your first pick?
Yeah.
And you stole my second pick?
Mm-hmm.
All right, fair enough.
wanna
I am
trade?
going to go with Bernard Gooden.
Okay.
Yeah, so if he's anything close, this is my reason why. If he's anything close to what we've seen in camp, I think LSU, their defense kind of takes that next step, takes that next level of play. I think from what we've seen in camp, getting interior pressure not only on the run game and breaking through the line, but also in the passing game and putting pressure on Garrett Nussmeier on the interior of the pocket, flushing a guy that can't run too well out, I think is key for LSU. Bernard Gooden is also very loud. He's vocal. I think he's going to be a problem for teams to come versus LSU. So number 88, Bernard Gooden will be my second impact player.
And I like that pick. And when we just looked at the, that tweet from the Clemson fan, what was his name?
Clemson
Addict. There's a couple of things that he highlights, concerns for Clemson's season, that I think Bernard Gooden will have a direct impact on. They have questions at running back. So obviously the run game, if you've seen, the LSU front has dominated the LSU offense's run game so far at fall camp. And then the next one is the offensive line play in short yardage situations. And those kind of go hand in hand. But I think Bernard Gooden is kind of your, like, so far he's been your ultimate weapon on the defensive line through fall camp. He has been the star of fall camp. And that's a really good pick because I think he could have, especially on game one, a massive, massive impact right out of the gate where it's like blowing up run plays, getting after the quarterback. Like Christian said, if you're a defensive line and you can create pressure up the middle at the quarterback and make him run to the outside, think about what LSU has waiting around the outside if they can get Klubnik to run around.
Right. That's exactly what
And it makes
you
the
want
edge's
guys
job way easier.
It makes their life easier, and you did not create havoc a year ago at that spot, and I think now you can with a guy like Bernard Gooden. So that's a good pick. It's a good pick. So that turns the board to Lloyd.
Aaron Anderson.
I figured that was going to be on the way.
My
I like
muse.
you've got a good board right now.
Yeah, I sprint to the podium when I see a pick.
You did.
And as much as I wanted to go with Chris Hilton, too high, too low of a floor, super high ceiling, what Aaron Anderson did last year, I think is somebody that when you're a quarterback and you have that relationship that gets to move to the next year and you have a rapport with a player like that and the explosiveness of Aaron Anderson, and that's his first real full season under his belt, he's going to get better.
Yes.
And the only question mark is injuries. He's healthy now, but when you're an athlete like that, it is a little bit easier to get hurt. But Aaron Anderson, because of his productivity last year, I do see his catches going down, but probably yards going up and touchdowns going up because I think he is a problem.
No, I agree. And I think
Draft year.
I like the ceiling floor thing you said, where like Hilton, it's a low floor and a really high ceiling. Anderson, it's a high floor and a high ceiling. And that's a really good pick. And I think Aaron is going to ball for LSU this season. And like you saw the relationship. And the other thing is the confidence the LSU coaches have in that relationship already. To tell Aaron, you know what? Take your time coming back to practice. We know you and Nuss are like y'all are good. Like y'all don't have. So for the coaches to have that confidence in that relationship should allow for the fan base to feel that good about number 13 and number 1, or number 18 and number 1 with Garrett Nussmeier and Aaron Anderson. So I think it's a really good pick. I'm excited to see what Aaron Anderson looks like now that you've got some real dynamic weapons around him. Mm-hmm. And like if you want to lock in on number 1, Chris said it in media days. He was like, if you want to focus in on one receiver,
by all means,
fine. Like. So if you're going to lock in on stopping Aaron Anderson, which good luck, first off, Nick Anderson, Berrien Brown, Chris Hilton, Xavion Thomas, Kyle Parker, go down the list. They're all still on the field, Coach. Like, try. And so when that happens, then it's timeout. And the other thing with Aaron that I really like is the simulated run game. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to play a massive, massive part in that, where it's tunnel screens, end arounds, jet sweeps, all of those things. That adds to the importance of Aaron Anderson, so I like that a lot. Jonathan, back to you as you've got 2 picks back to back. Snake draft.
This gets a little tricky, though. I'm going to vamp for a minute because part of what I'm thinking, the guys I'm looking at, right?
Yep.
A lot of guys are running kind of in the same area of what Lloyd just said, right? Why Aaron Anderson's important. So I don't know if I should pick another guy that's maybe just kind of a a less useful version of that. You know what I'm going to do? All right, I'm going to stick with my heart. I'm going to go Patrick Payton.
Oh,
Pass rush makes the world go around.
First edge rusher off.
Don't it?
I thought for sure he was going to just
gonna make
slither
it.
to
No,
me.
I don't think I can. Like I know that Pyburn's making a lot of noise, but I think that Peyton's more of the every down guy on the edge.
Well,
right?
even if he's just a
And-
pass rusher.
We've seen what he can do in 23 on that undefeated Florida State team.
Yeah.
He's got all the physical capabilities. And like you guys said, I mean, like if there's good in opening up things in the middle, and
Yes,
you've got
yes.
you got the linebackers on the outside. That creates a lot of room for a guy like him to fucking eat.
Yes, I agree.
And I do believe that he will eat.
And Seville solidified like why I was going to take Patrick Payton is because he said it best. People's is going to have an All-American. And like
This is the one. Like, if
Yeah.
you were to ask me before the season starts,
we are.
which one is going to be, I would say Patrick Payton is
Yeah.
the one that has that All-American ceiling and is ready now to hit it. Like, I think Gabe Relaford, me and you, Lloyd, have drooled over him since high school. He has that same ceiling. I don't know if it happens in 2025.
Just because the people like
Just because of the guys in the room, and he's a soft. I think his junior year, him and Don McKinley in 2026, scary for opposing teams. I think Patrick Payton in 2025 is a really good
I think
pick.
everything's just in place, right?
No, that's a great pick. I think Patrick Payton is the one. Like when you're looking at who breaks out and fills the shoes of Braden Swinson because of what he did last season, I think Patrick Payton is the guy that you look at and say
he could be a better Braden Swinson.
he could be a
and
better.
that's no
Braden
shade.
Yeah,
Swinson
no,
was
right.
unbelievable.
There's
but,
NFL talent, great player.
but the measurables one.
More physical talent, natural
Yes.
physical talent.
Yes. And now you've gotten him into the
And
LSU's
surrounded by
weight
better
room,
players.
surrounded by good players on that defense.
I mean, he was on an island at Florida State. Like, we
Right.
stink,
and
brother.
when he had Jared Verse on the other side, what did he look like?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. You know? And so now he's got Bernard Gooden in the middle, Harold Perkins behind him, Whit Weeks behind him, Jack Pyburn and Gabe Relaford on the other side, all of these pieces. And he's been in LSU. Like, I will contend Jacob Flint and LSU strength and conditioning staff has been excellent. Like, you've seen the physical development of these guys. Him getting in here, no diss to Florida State and their strength staff, but I think Patrick Payton has improved from being a part of the LSU program from that standpoint. So the first pick of the third round, Jonathan, to close out your non-quarterback impact team, who do you take? Your team currently consists of Whit Weeks and Patrick Payton.
Yeah, and we don't have to necessarily pick an offensive player.
You don't? No.
We're not creating a team. I'm just looking for guys that are going to make noise. I'm of two minds, and I think I'm gonna be a little safe with it. Monsieur Delane.
Good pick.
Good pick.
I mean, he's going to be the starting cornerback. He's walking into that position. He is head and shoulders in terms of experience. Everything that we've seen says that he is capable of being a lockdown guy. And you don't count out the number one cornerback on a defense like ours. That means you're a hell of a fucking player. Again, maybe not the sexiest, but I think in terms of who's going to have the biggest impact on this season, I think that makes sense.
That's a really good pick. That's probably who I had slated to go with my final pick because I think
It might be a little early for him, but
not at all.
not at all.
I think
if he was gonna
the
slip.
cornerback one
yeah,
on this defense is going to take on a massive assignment when you look at the schedule. Whether it's Nicholas Harbor at South Carolina, it's Antonio Williams at Clemson, it's Ryan Williams at Alabama. Go down the list of top-end wide receivers in conference play. That's who he's going to be matched up against when you're looking at it on paper ahead of the year. So he has a massive role, and if he serves that role and does that impact, makes that impact, LSU's better for it. So that's a really good pick. You have a all-defense
I do.
team with Whit Weeks, Patrick Payton, and Monsieur Delane is Jonathan's crew for non-quarterback impact players this season.
I'm happy with it.
And Lloyd, it turns to you now. Your third selection to follow up Harold Perkins and Aaron Anderson.
I have Harold Perkins, Aaron Anderson. I know who I'm taking. AJ Halsey.
Okay.
Yeah.
That probably was going to be my pick. That's a good selection.
It was
I
one or the
think
other for me.
that is a really, really good pick. Lloyd, your reasoning for AJ Halsey.
Obviously adds, and like we said, you got better at the position. It's something that has woed LSU for the past, since the defense has been bad, has been poor safety play. And I think he will be a breath of fresh air to LSU fans. So people are going to be looking to anything that he does. I think it's spun into a positive light already.
Yeah.
If he does one play, knocks one ball down, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, right.
And then his ability to intercept passes, his instincts back there. He doesn't have not the most physical toolsy guy, but you can't replace those instincts. It's a little bit like I see the game differently than you. And he's somebody that can change a football game. 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 6, and you're looking for a stop. You're down 4, fourth quarter. You try to throw it over the middle, AJ Halsey. You're like, that's why you're here. 5 interceptions last year, and I think he's had 12 for his career. I mean, that's a man that has. That's not a mistake.
No,
it's a man that has a nose for the football,
Right.
and that's somebody I
like.
Thirds
into fourths.
Yes, it's a man I want on the back end of my defense.
Right.
So
And
AJ Halsey changes the position, changes the game for you.
Yeah. Well, and look, the safety position. Think about where it was a year ago. And where it's been the last couple of years at LSU since you lost Jay Ward and Jark Bernard Converse and Greg Brooks. Like, since you haven't had those guys, it's been kind of tough sledding at that spot. And those instincts, man, like, they play every single time. And with Halsey, I think he's one of those guys when I talk about ceiling. I don't think he has the ceiling of being the best player on your team, but I think he has the ceiling of being like the best player on the defense right now is AJ Halsey. Like, when he first got here, I was like, he legitimately has the ability to be the best player on your defense. Like, he has that much talent. He's got a nose for the ball, and he flies to fill a run hole. Like, he's not just a ball hawk. Like, he's trying to hit somebody.
Give me that. Punch it out.
Fucking safety.
And I think he's going to be a dog for LSU in 2025. Good pick, Lloyd.
Thank you.
And Christian.
I've watched this so many times.
My last pick is complicated. Because I would pick Damian Ramos, but that's boring. That's really boring. So I'm not going to be like the New Orleans Saints and pick somebody boring. I'm going to go with Kyle Parker.
Okay.
That's my last pick.
Kyle Parker,
Kyle Parker is the one wide receiver throughout camp. Now, granted, Aaron Anderson has been hurt. But outside of Kyle Parker and I guess Xavier Thomas, you have not seen a level of consistency from the wide receivers that these two guys have given you. And I think Kyle Parker has been more trusted than Garrett Nussmeier. I know that video came out the other day, but when LSU has needed a big third down in camp, they've gone to Kyle Parker. And Kyle Parker did it a little bit last year before he got injured. You saw against USC and you saw against UCLA. Kyle Parker is going to be huge in this wide receiver room. And, he's my pick for this round.
That's a good pick. I think he
I like that.
is.
One more reason. He's also a physically imposing wide receiver. The reason why I didn't go with Xavier is because you kind of already have a Xavier archetype in Aaron Anderson, who I think will get more run than Xavier will. Kyle Parker's more of a physically imposing wide receiver than Aaron Anderson, so you'll see you're going to have to rely on an X receiver in some fashion. And whether that's Barryon Brown, Kyle Parker, you've seen Kyle Parker in the slot a lot, but I think Kyle Parker's kind of like that guy for you that can complement Aaron Anderson and Barryon Brown well, but I think Kyle Parker right now is firmly wide receiver too because of who Nussmeier looks to the most.
Okay. And I think if you go back and you watch Kyle Parker's high school film, it was unbelievable. Like, he had, I think,
he's a player.
A couple of games where he had like 300 receiving yards.
Mm-hmm.
Like, was
in
just
Texas.
And I feel like he's
dog.
he's a little slept on because of all the
Flash.
Like the
Right.
high flashy transfer guys,
And
that
I
are
think-
all speed.
He also ran a sub 11 100.
Yeah, I mean, not saying that the
So,
guy's not, but I mean, like everyone's so
Of course.
enchanted
Also-
with all the 4-2 guys, but this is a guy that's already been on the roster.
And this is so important. We don't talk about it enough. And we kind of, I guess we don't really bring up this term, but he's a gamer. You need gamers on this football team if you want to win. And I think Kyle Parker is like, you saw it early last year. He was a gamer.
No, he's very, very talented.
Give me the
And
gamer.
I think that's a really good pick.
gamer.
I like Kyle Parker, and I think he's going to play a big role on this LSU offense. Even though he kind of gets, like we've said, he can kind of get
Lost in the shuffle.
A little bit when you look at that team.
But he's kind of like not letting himself.
Right. Yeah. No, because like when you look at the receivers that have had the success at LSU the last couple of years, like the Biletnikoff guys, like Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors, they've been strong at the point of attack. Like the line of scrimmage, you're not going to press Jamar Chase. The same thing with Malik Neighbors. Like that, he's got that strong build, and that's how Kyle Parker plays, where he's got the build. But then you get the ball in his hands, and you're like, wait, time out.
He can also do this.
He's not just big and strong. He can also run away.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, like he is the real deal.
He's set up to have one of the best
He's got
best years in this room.
Oops.
Oh, great block. But look what happens when he gets the ball in his hands, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Now, he got one opportunity really last year and scores a touchdown.
right, and that's a screenplay,
And he was hurt.
and he just turned it into 6.
He scored against
Like,
USC too.
and so I
Half in the
mean,
end zone? Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, whenever you need UCLA, like when you needed a receiver,
right,
Yeah.
stepped
it's
up.
like Kyle Parker.
He's a gamer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no,
Give me the
he's a
game.
dog. It's a good pick, Christian. So Christian's team: Braylon Moore, Bernard Gooden, Kyle Parker. I will close this out here. I've got Caden Durham and Tradez Green on my board. And so I've got 2 offensive players. I'm very tempted to go all 3 offense
Hey.
to combat Jonathan's all 3 defense. But I do think, and the reason I'm kind of directed that direction is because I have a lot of confidence in this team in general, but the defense really, like I think they are so good as a unit, and I think the offense has more of like these individuals that can make an impact. But man, it's tough to not go with Dom McKinley, and that's who I'm going to take with my final selection. Dominic McKinley, the defensive tackle, the big guy. It was between him or Nick Anderson, for me, but I'm going to go Dom McKinley because I want to add some defense onto my list, but also I just think his stock has risen so much, and if LSU's going to be the best version of themselves, Dom McKinley's a player, like a dog. And so I'm going Dom McKinley with my pick. So that's the teams. My team: Caden Durham, Tradez Green, Dom McKinley, Jonathan Whitweeks, Patrick Payton, Monsor Delane, Lloyd, Harold Perkins, Aaron Anderson, A.J. Halsey, Christian, Braylon Moore, Bernard Gooden, and Kyle Parker. Those are our top 3 non-quarterback impact players for LSU.